talk Bo Nix and Denver. So Denver was considered a 5.5-win team. And I said, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I'll take them for 8 or 9 wins. It was my favorite over bet. Every year, last year it was the Rams. You find a team and you're like, yeah, Vegas is wrong. 3 years ago, it was the Vikings, and they won 13 games. Last year it was the Rams. This year I said, Denver's too good. You can't have Sean Payton. You got some really nice weapons. Bo Nix played 61 college games. They'll be good. I did think last night was a really tough lift. Rookie quarterbacks on the road, division rivalry against Herbert and Harbaugh. I had the Chargers winning, and they did. So I thought he was very good on script, and I think he's going to be really good. But in the second half, let's be honest, weren't throwing downfield much. The Denver defense had mistake after mistake and penalty after penalty. But Bo Nix's career is pretty clear. First 2 to 3 games, as he was trying to catch up to the speed of the NFL game, there was a lot of turbulence. Since October, he is 5th in the NFL in touchdown passes. And one of those receivers, a 7th-rounder, Cortland Sutton Mims, 5th. He's got more than Stafford, Jalen Hurts. He's got more than Mahomes. So it's just perspective. Denver's going to be really good. But when Sean Payton took it over, they still have $1 zillion in dead cap money. Here's the great news for Denver, is they've lost to the Chargers, both times close. They lost to Kansas City on a blocked field goal. The NFL and the NBA to some degree, but the NFL is a steps league. The first step is finding a franchise quarterback. Boom, they got it. The second step for this team is getting out from beneath the tonnage of Russell Wilson's dead cap money. After next year, they're done with it. The fact that Denver, and it looks like to me the AFC playoffs are done. I don't trust the Colts or the Bengals to win 3 straight games. So you watched 2 playoff teams last night. I think the Chargers are the better of the 2 playoff teams because of Justin Herbert. Both coaches Hall of Fame. Both teams have an elite left tackle. Both teams need 4 to 5 more players in the draft. Neither team's a Super Bowl team. They both feel like playoff teams. Denver in the first half, Chargers in the second half. But in the end, you got your quarterback. You got your coach. You just re-signed, extended your left tackle. You got nice weapons. The dead cap money after next year is done. And I'm watching Bo Nix, and I'm thinking, this is as good as you're going to get as a rookie quarterback. They're not supposed to win games last night. They're not supposed to go on the road, division game, short week, against a Harbaugh and a Herbert and win. You can have a good half. You're not going to win that game, especially when your defense had multiple penalties on a huge drive. But if I was a Denver fan, I'd feel great about it. Here's Bo after.
Frustrated. The difference in our 2 games with them has been 7 points, and just got to find a way to get ball in the end zone one more time. And it's that's the frustrating part is the difference, the margin of error is 1 touchdown.
Listen, the biggest issue I have with Denver going forward in Bo Nix is Mahomes and Herbert 4 times a year minimum. That's the problem.
It's not a problem. Bo Nix has already clearly shown that he can keep up. So let's relax. It's not a problem. As I've already said in my previous video, the Kansas City Chiefs should be worried because so much of their success has been built upon the foundation of being able to feast on bad coaches and bad quarterback play of the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. That's over. It's done. See ya. That's over. Better luck. Better luck next year. I thought this was an awesome game. Yeah, Bo Nix is obviously still growing and developing and evolving as a quarterback. He's obviously not going to play flawless ball. Colin literally referred to Justin Herbert last segment as an all-time talent, and yet even in this very game, we saw him miss a couple throws. And so, of course, we're going to see that from a rookie quarterback. We can't expect him. I mean, like everybody was, I saw in the comment section because I did a post-game video and everybody was like, all he did was check the ball down and this or that. And it's like, dude, like, what are you expecting Bo Nix to do in this situation? I mean, right, again, short rest late in the season, Thursday night game, which again is tough, especially this late in the season. We've seen that's why so many of those Thursday night games are so ugly and weird and bizarre. Being a rookie and rookies are 9-26 now on the road on Thursday night games. divisional opponent, a really tough Chargers team, who are obviously also playoff, in the playoff team. I mean, this was never going to be an easy game, especially with a great defense like the Chargers have. And he was 29 for 40. I mean, again, the Broncos were still relying on him to let it rip. 40 throws is no joke. That's a lot of throws. Everyone keeps talking about, and myself included, about how when you ask these quarterbacks to throw 35, 40 times, it never goes well for them, and this and that. And yeah, here they are. The Broncos are relying on him to throw 40 times. He's having more completions than most quarterbacks are having passing attempts. That's how much they're relying on him. Especially with the lack of run game production. Yeah, they had that great first quarter. And then the run game really kind of sputtered away. I mean, majority of the yards of the run game from the actual running backs themselves, like, came in that first drive. I forget exactly what they finished with, but they had the 43 yards in just that first drive alone for rushing. And then I think they only finished with like 110, 115, 120, somewhere in that range. And a bunch of those yards then also came from Bo Nix scrambles. So, I mean, they're relying on Bo Nix to do a tremendous amount here. He's carrying a lot. A lot. And when we talk about like how great rookie quarterbacks can be and how bad they can be and how much success their team can have and how lack of success their team can have, look no further than the Chicago Bears, man. Even when games aren't going well or in losses, does Caleb Williams ever look as comfortable as this? Does he ever look like he's in control of the game? In command? Does he look like he's the one that's making moves? No. You got Bo Nix up there going up to the line of scrimmage, killing plays, making, pre-snap reads. I mean, you have him in complete control. When he's checking down, it's the right move. It's smart. He's not forcing the ball down the field. He's using his legs to buy time, making beautiful throws on the run. I mean, he's been so precise. And they even said in the broadcast, like, on the sidelines, that there's no question who the leader is. And I've defended Caleb Williams with his body language or when he was like in agony. But it is when you do compare the two and you can see how connected and engaged Bo Nix is. I mean, it speaks volumes. The fact that on the broadcast, they're literally saying there's no question who the leader is. That's of a rookie quarterback. That's special, man. That's not the norm. That's special. Bo Nix is not just happy to be there. He's not just like, oh man, I'm achieving my dream of being in the NFL. He's like, nah, my dream is to be great. My dream is to be a leader. My dream is to be that guy. To be him. H-I-M. And he's doing it. He's absolutely doing it. I mean, I loved how this team started out the gate. The defense was awesome right out the gate. They set the tone on the road. And then, of course, that opening drive, I mean, the run game was awesome. The first couple touchdown drives were just really like, yep. I'm watching that game and I'm going to go, oh, man. Broncos are on one right now. Like, this is legit. The patience that Bo Nix had. The touchdown to Burton. The touchdown to Vele. I mean, like, a lot of these are, like, actually, like, really smart, high-level football play. This isn't, like, some of those, like, wide open, like, oh, well, yeah, anyone can kind of do this. Or, yeah, well, Like, these weren't plays or an offense that you could just say, like, yeah, that was easy. Or any quarter, we could throw any quarterback in there. Or, dude, the Chargers defense is just trash. They can't keep up. No, it was high-level play. It was high-level coaching, high-level execution by everyone involved. The O-line, Bo Nix, the position players, the ones who I've already named. Mims getting extending plays. I mean, even something as little as the flea flicker, where everybody always wants to go deep, it wasn't there. So he didn't force it. So he checked it down and got a nice gain and a little gain. They get busted up. A sack, a scramble for like nothing, a throwaway. an interception, forced down the field where it was like nobody was going to catch that. What even was that? Those little things matter, because in a game of inches, it matters. We saw how that field goal at the end of the half mattered so much. I just think everyone's really so into this. Like that batted ball by Cooper on defense as well, when he had to like jump, but then like he kind of anticipated the sidearm from Herbert. And then there was a huge sack by, I think it was Sanders, I think it was. Like even those things. Those are the chain of events that you see like with great teams. I'm not saying that the Broncos are great right now, but those are the little things that you see. Being able to set the tone early on in the game. Having some key big plays like when Herbert's about to make an awesome play, but you stop it. And then literally the next down, boom, sack. Like those are the things that start to kind of spiral. That start to suffocate the opposing teams. And are so crucial to be able to do either on the road or home for that matter. Because when you're doing it at home, then the crowd goes insane. And when you're on the road, you do that, and now the crowd starts to get like uncomfortable. So no matter where you are, it pays big dividends like that. When you can piece together a handful of plays, or at the minimum just 2 plays back to back like that, it just is so energizing. It signals to everyone like, yep, we're here, we're in this, let's go. We're not just trying to survive. We're not just trying to be like, hey guys, we belong. It's nah, we're here. Let's do this, let's ball. We're playing grown man football right now. And yeah, the Broncos didn't come away with the win. And like Colin said, this team was supposed to be trash. A 5-win team is trash, okay? I mean, look at all the teams that have like 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. They're not good. They're not good. Or they were decimated by injuries. So, let's be honest. Vegas thought the Denver Broncos were going to be trash. And they thought that Bo Nix was, I don't think we could say that they thought Bo Nix was going to be trash, but they didn't think he was capable of, doing this either. So I see nothing but positives, truly nothing but positives. I learned throughout this season doing this channel, because this is the first like full season of doing this channel, and seeing like the beginning of like the true optimism of a team and drafting a quarterback and going into these seasons, is that you have people that are like really negative or pessimistic, surprise, surprise. And then you have some other people that are like really positive and optimistic. And I remember as this season started, they obviously didn't get off to the start that they would have liked. And people were really upset and were like, oh man, I was sold that the season was going to be really good. I was lied to. And I've talked about that a little bit. And then now you start to get some wins. And I saw this also with the Washington Commanders. You start to get the wins. The quarterbacks start to really get into rhythm. And it feels like you have some special quarterbacks. And now people are, now their expectations change. And I don't know if it's because of like the local news, like the local sports shows and stuff, or like the local post-game lives that are on after games. I don't watch those, so I don't really know what type of information is being fed. I come across them occasionally, and it's always kind of crazy to me, because those guys are always like, we got the best team in the NFL. Who's going to beat us? And it's like, well, there's a lot of teams out there. I mean, you got the Bills, you got the Lions, you got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs. Like, what do you mean? And it's just like, and I think sometimes people get lost in that. But then I think like this idea was that maybe like now that the Broncos found their quarterback and now it's like, well, they need to be great every game, or they can't afford to lose a game like this. Or if they keep playing, they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game and get to the Super. They're going to shock the world. And although all of that stuff is possible, because I do think, and I don't mean that in like, well, anything is possible. Like, I do think it's genuinely possible that like if they face the Chiefs in the playoffs, they could take them down. They could absolutely take them down. So if they were able to survive, I mean, if they are the 7th seed, it's a tough road, because they would have to face the Bills, then the Chiefs, or the Chiefs, then the Bills. Like that is a tough, brutal road, and also on the road. But it's definitely possible. And if they didn't get the short end stick of having to face the top 2 seeds back to back on the road in the playoffs, I think they could find themselves. Like that's a thing that is a little bit of a bummer, because this is a game that they could have eked out, and obviously against the Chiefs was a game that they could have won as well. And now you're talking about a team that could be like in the 5 or 6 seed, which then does significantly change who you're playing in the playoffs. You could be playing the Steelers and the Texans or something. There's actually a legitimate path to, say, the AFC Championship game. But when you're a team like this, when you're a young team, young quarterback, and a draft and a free agency away, you're gonna need some luck. You're gonna need some good fortune, whether in game or just the powers that be in terms of who you're playing. But this team is there. Like I said, these are the games, whether they're divisional or not. If you weren't a good team, like, you get rolled. You play ugly. Or, like, again, maybe it's close, but again, it's like, but it's ugly. It's one of those bizarre games where it's like, you have like 4 turnovers, but the other team also has like 5 turnovers, and you're just like, oh my God, what is this right now? Kind of like the Texans versus the Lions that one game, or kind of the Browns versus the Broncos. You know, the game that we saw for the 49ers versus the Rams. That was a bizarrely ugly game. What was that score? Like 12-6 or something. But no, we saw high-level football on both sides, honestly. And that's why this division is going to be legitimately competitive now. I kept calling the NFC North a gauntlet, with the Vikings and the Lions and the Packers and the Bears were supposed to be a little bit better than they were. But I think eventually, if they right that ship, I mean, like, that's a brutal division. Even if not, just those 3 teams alone is brutal. And the Bears are at least competent enough to steal a win or two from some of these other teams, which in a lot of ways, that's what the Raiders have kind of proven to a degree. So this division will be up for grabs year after year after year. It will potentially come down to little things like, when you play the Chargers, are they full strength? Oh, when you play the Broncos, they're missing so-and-so, their number 1 wide receiver. Yeah. Oh, both their corners are injured. And they're playing the Chiefs. Oh, man. Like, it's going to come down to all these little things. The tiny little things that, like, are virtually unpredictable. Because it's going to be legitimately up for grabs. Legitimately. And the Broncos have proven that, because just look how they're in the mix right now. And they are still being drowned by everything that with the Russell Wilson acquisition was. They are still dealing with some of the things of having a rookie quarterback. And a head coach who's still learning about that rookie quarterback. And a rookie quarterback who's still learning about his head coach. People still also, I feel like, overlook the importance of that and that own individual journey in itself. It's not a matter of just having a great coach and, well, now you have a great coach and a quarterback, boom, success. No, they have to learn each other. Especially that coach, more than the quarterback to the coach, but especially the coach needs to really continue to learn, okay, how do I maximize this quarterback? No matter how great of a coach I am, it will take me a minute to really develop a rhythm. Also, how do I communicate with this quarterback? How do I get through to him? How do I squeeze the most juice out of him? Not only just from a technical aspect, but from a practical and a relationship aspect. All of this stuff takes time. All of this stuff takes time. When you met your partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, was it just like that? Did you just know each other just like that? And you held hands and skipped off to the sunset? No. It takes a tremendous amount of time. And that's how coaching relationships are. Like anything, you can hit the ground running. And you can, but it still takes time. You still got to know what it's like to face some fights, to face some adversity, to deal with the highs, to deal with the lows. It's dynamic. It's not just flat. And so this has been an awesome season, awesome games for the Broncos, and you can watch a game like this and watch them lose and be like, man, we have turned a corner with the Denver Broncos. This is a different year. This is a different era. We are going in the right direction. Finally. And that's all you can ask for this season, man. That's all you can ask for. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos? Do you think it's clear that Bo and the Broncos have a bright future? I think that's pretty obvious, but let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, Let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.